Sekur is a Swiss-hosted private communications platform with messaging, email, a new chat by invite feature as well. None of it is data mined and sold to advertisers. And with me is the CEO, Alain Ghiai, to talk more about Sekur and cybersecurity in general. And I mentioned Swiss, so you are from Switzerland, and there's some European Union regulation going on in this area. What's the latest on that?
All right. Well, what's happening is that a few days ago, articles came out, and the European Union is trying to basically come up with a law to scan all the chat platform, online platforms. So if you're on a website, it'll scan everything. If you have the big tech, for example, Facebook and all the other messengers and emails, they're basically trying to enforce a law to be able to scan and read everything. And the argument is they want to basically reduce the child pornography. It's the same kind of law that, I don't know if it was a law, but basically Apple voluntarily a while back, a few months ago, said they're going to do that on their iPhone, on their chat system or whatever, their iCloud. There was a massive backlash, and then they paused on that. So the regulation now, it's basically almost like China. So everything you do, everything you post, everything, your own photos are going to be the public property of the EU government. They're going to scan everything. And because we all use those open platform, those free application, it's not like you're gonna give your info from your phone. But when you use WhatsApp, Signal, or any of the other, or the Gmail, or anything like that, they basically force those providers to give them that information. Now, I'm the first one that says we shouldn't have pictures of children underage, of course. But I think I said that a while back when an interview I did with Roman Balmakov from the Epic Time. The law is great, and then there's the application and the intent, if there's a pure intent or there's something behind it. A lot of people believe that EU regulation is a full control law, and they're very angry about it. I'm sure it's going to pass in Parliament. And thank God we're in Switzerland, and we don't have such a law.
Right,
so that's another bonus too. Of course, plus with our system, you have to really be validated to join, etc. And the other thing is that they have your phone number when you have these applications. So they can call the telecom company and just hack into your phone and just get all that data.
Yeah. Well, what's scary about some of these things is it's always kind of couched in what's good for, like, child pornography or health. But it is also, they're reading our personal communications, and there's a lack of privacy that goes with this too.
And that's true. And it's not just that the government is going to go and read all your stuff. The danger comes when they get hacked, because we all know there's going to be cracks, government or no government. These are people that just, they're 9-to-5ers most of the time, and they have no responsibility. They're the government. That's just unfortunately how it is. Now, these infrastructures are going to be breached, right? And now the hackers have your entire information. So first, it's the government privacy issue. That's a big thing. Now there's going to be a cybersecurity issue, because if proactively you store everybody's photo and chat in a huge database, what do you think will happen? Obviously, they're going to be targeted. So obviously, we're not a fan of that regulation. And, in Switzerland, we don't have that yet. I don't think we're going to have it, because that literally goes into the DNA of the privacy laws of our constitution. There will be a revolution. And I can tell you, in Switzerland, everybody goes to the military service every 2 weeks, 2 weeks a year. So, they don't want to have the horde of masses and protesting. The other thing in Switzerland is, like, all the laws are referendum. So you will need a full referendum of the country to voluntarily give up their privacy. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I can't imagine that happening in Switzerland either. Now, something kind of similar that's going on is the Securities and Exchange Commission order, basically, right? Forcing Wall Street banks to turn over cell phones so they can read traders' WhatsApp messages. What's going on there?
Yeah, that's actually the second event. The first event, I guess FINRA, SEC, I'm not sure, fined JP Morgan $200 million because their bankers were using WhatsApp, communicating with clients. Now, the real problem is this. You may have the best system in your bank, They have regulation, they store archiving, they have security. But the problem is that your typical customer doesn't have that. They use the big tech platform. They use text, WhatsApp, Signal, maybe, maybe not. And what's happening is that they're not 9 to 5er. A banker may have to contact someone at 9 p.m. overseas and chat with them. So this whole new demand now by the SEC was prompted because Deutsche Bank realized, even the CEO apparently of Deutsche Bank was using WhatsApp to communicate and discuss business and customers' data, accounts, etc. So now I think the SEC and Deutsche Bank cooperating obviously are looking for 100 phone numbers of 100 people that may have done that. In this case, I'm definitely on the side of regulation in some way because you don't want your banker to use WhatsApp when they discuss your financial information.
I see.
And this is exactly why in Secure Messenger, we're launching this whole thing. Plus, you don't have phone numbers. We have chat by invite that we launched last week. You can text a customer and then you can chat with them round trip in full privacy. And we're launching an archiving system for the financial industry in the next, by the end of the summer. So that way financial companies will have a choice finally.
Okay.
When I was leaving actually to go to the airport, this news came on Bloomberg and they said, well, you know, they should use the Bloomberg messaging app. The problem is that it comes with a terminal and it's $24,000
right.
a year or something
Yes.
like that. I think people might want to prefer to pay $7 a month
Yeah.
as opposed to $2,000. In fact, I had quite a few financial people in New York tell me that we should put this together and have an archiving at the admin level, which means that if you and I chat and you're my client, my text will be self-destructed as my timer goes, but the administrator of my bank, let's say, will have that in archiving. So when FINRA, let's say 3 years down the road, wants to see my chats with a customer, it will be there and it
Okay.
will be compliant.
Yeah.
I should add that next year we're doing a SOC 2 certification. Don't ask me the details what it
Okay.
is, but it basically means that after that certification, we can sell to the entire banking industry or even government. So in this case, yes, the SEC and Deutsche Bank should come down on people, but there's no other alternative. That's the problem. So we're trying to be out there, especially after the summer, to launch and to tell everyone there's an alternative now. But
Okay.
frankly speaking, the CEO of a bank should not use WhatsApp,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah,
to
that
communicate
makes
with
them more vulnerable.
multi-billionaires and zillionaires and talk about their trades. I mean,
Well,
that's
exactly.
but
Somebody-
people do it every day.
Yeah. And you mentioned something interesting about the cost of it because a lot of these banks have sometimes tens of thousands of these Bloomberg terminals. So
Yeah.
that would be a way to lower their cost, although they
So
still, I guess, need the data.
They need,
but the
they
communi-
need this, and the thing with the Bloomberg thing is that the other person doesn't have it. This is where we're unique
I
in
see.
the world.
Okay.
We can basically, and it's mobile too. I don't know if the messenger is mobile or not, but let's say you're a Wall Street banker. At 8 p.m. you have to communicate, or midnight with Europe or Brazil or something. You know, you're not in your office. You leave after. So that's one thing. You need another version. You need your mobile version. That's why they all use these free. And also the other thing is the customer doesn't have the Bloomberg terminal. That's where we come with chat by invite. It's an ingenious way to essentially text someone. We have about 19 countries. We're going to add a few more as well. And you say, hey, you know, Alain wants to chat with you. You click, you chat with me in full privacy because the communication doesn't leave our server in Switzerland. And because we don't ask for your phone number when you download the app, nobody knows that you're using this. So there's privacy, security, round trip. And the customer doesn't need to have it. I mean, people are going to use Bloomberg Terminal. I don't think they're just going to not use it if they just do. But a lot of people told me we just use the messenger a lot. And that's an interesting thing. It kind of woke me up a few months ago. So yeah, it's going to be ubiquitous, and you don't have to give your data to Facebook and having it sold 100 times over.
Okay, so tell me, how can somebody find out more about the secure services?
Well, I would recommend that you go to secure.com, sekur.com. We have plans that are for consumer and businesses. You can buy the secure package for businesses is $15 a month. It includes an email with Secure Send feature. You can send an email to somebody who doesn't have Secure. They can read it privately and reply back without having to register to our service. Great way for businesses to communicate with clients and suppliers. You can have the messenger only for $5 for consumers, $7 for business, because we're going to have that archiving feature, right? And then the email alone is $7 a month, obviously, or $10 for a business, and then they can migrate their domain with us too. That's slowly happening. We're doing a huge launch starting September to SMB. So go to secure.com. Anybody who's watching us here, you can put a promo code SECURE15 and you get 15% off.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Alain.
Thank you,
Okay.
Jane.